It seemed to occur when it was at the beginning. So if I'm not seeing anything in the first little bit, or when we come back from a break, like the restart of the program constantly.
Well, and because of that, we're actually doing YouTube without the soundboard audio feed right now. We're still just kind of working through some stuff. Again, we're having some changes with the podcast. It's going through some things. It's like puberty, but it's a little bit worse.
Maybe you guys are ready to get rolling. Let's get rolling. Going to be drinking beer and talking about video games we want to see as movies or TV shows.
Yep. I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Ready. Ready.
Oh wait.
Oh wait. Oh man. Oh man. Oh wait. Stroop waffles first.
Stroop waffles first.
Oh, you need something? Your beer?
No, it's in there.
Oh. Found them.
STRUPWAFFLE.
What did you say?
I was trying to spell.
STR.
STRU.
Oh.
STROO.
Stroop like poop. Stroop like poop.
Hopefully it doesn't taste like poop.
Oh god, that'd be terrible.
Wouldn't it?
We'll find out.
Have you tried poop?
Is that a real question?
No.
No.
Okay, good.
No, I've not consumed fecal matter of the human or animal. At least not intentionally that I know of.
Just gonna move that off the board. There we go.
Waffle dance.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's not fun.
Huh.
So whenever we end up doing these things on Patreon or whatever, we're gonna actually include a whole bunch more stuff like, I don't know, like it's gonna be more like our conversations that we have in the kitchen as opposed to like right before when we're setting everything up. So expect it a little bit more of like a lighthearted conversation and less technical. That's the idea anyways.
9.9%. Oh,
really?
It is. I diggity damn, what a way to start.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes, oh yes.
All right, well, if you guys are ready, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Does mine sound hot to you at all? I feel like I'm good, actually, which is strange.
Yeah, stay that close.
I know.
Oh, of course. No. I remember listening to like the last one, and
You were farther away.
Typically expect you to.
I think I was about here and I'm here. What? What? Yeah, of course there is. I heard that.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Slurp.
All right. You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?
Ready.
Let's go.
Ready.
Up is going your command there, champ.
Are you already recording?
And in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another Brewnomics podcast. Unless you're a first-time listener, then welcome to your first Brewnomics podcast. I'm your host, Jerry, and with me are my good friends,
William
And Vic.
all right, Paula is at a
MIA.
birthday party right now, and he says, go fuck yourself. And I was like, Paula, that's rude. You should just say hi. He's like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah,
So,
super weird.
Gotta love it, though. This episode, we are going to be talking about video games we want as movies or shows. It's our top 10 list, and we don't know how to count, and there's no particular order.
Yeah, so we're not really going to be even discussing like, with any kind of order to anything. We're just going to have a discussion.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about it. Obviously, Sonic's been blowing up, and people have opinions, so we're going to tell you ours. But before we do that,
We're going to have a beer.
there you go. This is one that has been circling about Idaho in the popularity ranks. It's been one that people seem to be excited about and are quite warm, to be honest. A lot of the beer sites I'm on and follow, some seem to love it, some seem to hate it. But this is from Payette Brewing Company, their Stroopwafel. It is a, excuse me, a barrel-aged wheat wine ale brewed with cinnamon, caramel, vanilla, and lactose, aged in bourbon barrels.
Bourbon, not burble.
Bourbon barrels, at 9.9%, so pretty much 10%. What you got for us on Untapped?
Vic.
Sure. Yeah, Untapped reads the following description about this beer, but after that, I'm going to talk about some other things. This is what it reads. Reminiscent of the delicious Dutch dessert stroopwafel, wheat wine is our most delectable beer. Aromas of sweet caramel and rich vanilla, bourbon cream dusted with cinnamon. Velvety rich and smooth with malt sweetness and the caramel notes leading the charge. Brandy and bourbon mingle in the background alongside dried fruit and honey oats. Honey notes with moderate hop bitterness to provide balance. Deep copper with brilliant clarity and a clean finish with a sweet stroopwafel complexity. This beer is rated 3.95 on Untapped currently, and that is derived from 36 ratings. It is 9.9%. That matches the ABV on the can, and it's sitting at 32 IBUs. Only about 42 people have rated this on Untapped thus far.
It is a brand new beer, but that is still actually, I thought it'd be more than that.
Well, I thought it would be more than that too. But like I said, brand new beer. I picked up at Brewers Haven, which is just down the road from our studio, and I think I got it for like $3.95, but it was the last one on the shelf.
$3.95.
Yep.
That's a lot. That's a really good price point for the amount you're getting out of this beer.
Yep.
Oh, wow. It definitely smells like a wine. And for those of you like, you guys are doing your I Tap That beer soon. We're actually not. This is not our I Tap That beer.
Not yet.
We'll fucking get there later. Calm down. Jeez. But this is just one that, again, we were excited about because it's been all over the place. Have you guys ever had a stroopwafel?
No.
Oh.
But according to the description, this basically sounds like a waffle cone that's been dipped in brandy sauce with caramel. And I would say that's a pretty apt
Kind of,
description.
but a little bit softer. Yeah, like soft. I've had stroopwafels. They're great to dip in your coffee and eat, just like that. They are quite good. So, is this a stroopwafel? Oh, I wish you guys had.
You wish that we had them. Is it more like a caramelized waffle? Is that what it is? Kind of more like a waffle cone, not an actual waffle that you eat for breakfast.
Correct. So think of like a waffle cone, but softened, and there's a layer of caramel, and then another waffle cone on it. So you can like kind of sealed. So
kind of like wafer, almost.
Oh,
Kind
I have
of,
had
yeah.
one. I know what you're talking. I didn't know that's what it was called. Actually, someone just gave it to me, and it's super good.
they are very good, especially dipped in some hot coffee.
Oh.
A lot of airlines will actually give them to you for snacks and stuff.
Yeah, that is.
I think
they are
United does it.
tasty.
But
Okay.
I am taking the wrong airline, man.
I didn't get no goddamn stroopwafel.
Dude, I didn't hardly even get peanuts.
The first sip was really intense for me, but after, because I wasn't quite sure what to expect, but after knowing what I'm getting into and having that next sip, I wish there was a little bit more caramel with it, maybe a little bit more dry notes to kind of give you like that crisp taste. But overall, it's growing on me. It gets better and better with each sip, I think. I don't know if I'd go with 3.95, but it is a unique beer. It is a good one. Sounds like a good price point. I'd give it a 3.5, though. I like it overall. It's a good beer.
I agree. Yeah, I would go with a 3.5 as well. The price point's really nice, especially for the amount of intensity that you get with this beer. But it has, after the first sip, it has calmed itself down a lot. Then I just sort of get the caramel sweet notes. But I do think the color is quite nice. That copper kind of darkness, almost ambery quality to it. Little head on it as well.
Yeah, not super carbonated at all.
It's good.
But that kind of makes sense with it being a wheat wine ale, because, wines aren't typically carbonated.
Nope.
I'm going to give this a 4.0.
Ooh, you like it,
I
huh?
like this a lot. I wish I had just a little bit more of that waffle cone taste to it. Because like if you've ever like walked into like an ice creamery shop and you just smell the waffle cone just wafting at you as soon as you open the door, I love that. It makes me just want ice cream.
Bro, my current store that I work at, you say they work right next to a Cold Stone.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they start
man.
doing their waffle cones and shit, that wafts right in. And it is, so it's because I moved stores and went from Baja Fresh, where we were right next to their grill. So you'd get that like carne asada one, which was nice. It's all right, but I'm never a big fan of Baja Fresh. But that Cold Stone, that sweet creamery and waffle cone coming through. And now the other side of us, they're building a crumble cookie. So it's just going to be cookie on one side and waffle cone on the other.
You're just gonna get fat, man.
Dude, just invent a new type of diabetes.
Yeah,
Yikes.
via smell.
Right, just by smell alone, I'm going to gain 20 pounds.
Yeah.
But it doesn't smell so good. It's subtly pleasing, like how, I don't know if this is true, but there's that rumor like that Disneyland subtly pushes like chocolate chip cookie smell throughout it for like a nice pleasing aroma. I feel like it's the same thing. People come in and they're just like, oh, it smells so nice in here. Why are we talking about this?
Because it's what this beer's doing, man. It's great. It's got this nice sweetness, malty note to it. Like I like this beer. Yeah.
Yes, I like this beer a lot.
It purports itself.
Yeah.
It does what it purports.
And at roughly 10%. I mean, this beer is entirely drinkable.
It's almost like you said, after that first bit of intensity, I was like, that's why it's 10%. It's going to take a while to drink it. But again, after a few sips, I'm just like, oh no.
It's warm, cozy, isn't it?
We gonna get drunk.
Like, it's that nice like feel that you almost get from like a stout, but you're having it with kind of a lighter beer.
Sure.
And I like it still. It's not overly sweet at all.
I know it is not our I tap that one, but for the record, if it were, I would.
I'd tap it too.
I totally would look forward to drinking this beer again.
Oh, 100, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, day
All
after
right.
day.
Soft tap.
All right. So before we get into our little main topic, I had a little bit of a soft tap, as I said.
Yeah, oh, you just now got that.
I had already moved on in my head. I've noticed that kind of a problem with our current topic, and that, you know, Hollywood also seems to have the same problems with it, and that is it's hard to make a video game adaptation into a movie.
Video game movies are notoriously fucking awful.
They're just bad.
Like, rarely are they decent or even okay. It is typically bad.
Yeah, most of them.
Mhm.
I mean, rarely do you have it. And by the way, you saw Sonic. You actually went and saw it. We're not just reporting numbers, but what did you think about Sonic here before I start?
You know, I definitely had some problems with it, but overall I liked it. It was a fun movie. It was one of the better ones. At first I thought this might be maybe the best one. And the more I think about it, I'm like, no. I think for me that might still be Need for Speed, but overall, Martin was great. Sonic, Ben Schwartz, he was really good as him. Jim Carrey was amazing. So yeah, overall I enjoyed Sonic.
Yeah, no, I went and took my kids.
Mhm.
Actually, I didn't think I mentioned this to you, but yeah, I took them and it was great. And I am really glad that they redid Sonic. I wasn't vocal about it at all. I was kind of surprised. I was like, give them a break. They're doing their own thing, whatever. They hopefully had it figured out. But Sonic looked much better.
He looked awesome.
And after seeing the movie and then kind of going back and seeing what they used to have him looking at, yeah, I'm glad they redid it.
Yeah, they spent the 6 months and $20 million or something like that, but it was worth it, and they'll get that movie back in. I think overall is going to increase the fan experience of that movie and the revenue. That movie's been crushing it right now.
Well, and I would hope that it would just encourage fans to know that, you know, they're actually going to take care of them.
It is kind of cool
for the sequels or however many they do after this.
You know, but fans, and I've been there too, we'll bitch about pretty much anything, but rarely does it get listened to and responded to in a positive way. And a lot of people say that with Sonic. They didn't just change the look, they changed a lot of the story with it too.
I didn't read that.
Well, and even if you go back and you watch the original teaser to the new one after the redesign, you're like, okay, that's a different plot. And I think all for the better. But anyways, let's.
Yeah. So the problems that I have with video games turning into movies is that the subject material, it doesn't exactly translate well. I mean, a la, Super Mario Brothers movie, right? I mean, Super Mario Brothers is it's pretty out there. Most video games are pretty out there. Can you imagine like a Dig Dug, right? or even a Donkey Kong? That'd be a little bit difficult. But the second thing that I have is repetitive gameplay. It loops. They don't always equal plot and motivation. So a lot of times you're going to have, shooting endless amounts of bad guys, right? That doesn't exactly translate to film.
Sure.
Or even like fetch quests, right? Like that's just boring to watch.
Right. Or straight hack and slashes and stuff without a lot of plot. That's not going to make for a whole movie. Maybe a nice 11-minute YouTube short.
And then the third problem that I have is that video game protagonists are often silent. And I mean, this is better to, immerse the player into the game to actually make them feel like they're controlling the character, that it's them. But it's so often problematic you know, when you have a silent protagonist in a video game that then you're putting them into a movie and they have a face that you might not agree with, or a voice even.
So
you
a
know.
la like Resident Evil and the Umbrella Corp and how that turned out.
Yeah, or just, I mean, like Sonic didn't talk a whole lot, but he talked a lot in the Sonic movie.
For sure, Sonic like never really talked. He did obviously because they had the series and stuff, but in the video games that I don't remember, there wasn't much dialogue.
Yeah, so I mean, like you can think of like characters like Link from Legend of Zelda, or Shell from Portal, right? Or even just most RPG characters. Like I think all of the Dragon Quest protagonists are silent. I mean, any one of those is going to be really difficult to put into a movie. So, with all that being said, this is our best attempt to pick out movies that we think would make good video games that would make good movies.
Or TV shows.
Or TV shows, kind of like a series a la The Witcher. And kind of going from there. So I'm excited to hear your pitches.
So am I. I think this is going to be fun. Before we get started with our pitches, let's briefly do a rundown of what we know is coming up.
Yes,
as
please.
Far as them, because if it weren't for this list, my picks might be a smidgen still, just a smidgen. And again, in no clear order, but because I didn't write these down in release date or anything, these are just the movies that are going to happen, probably.
They're in production development. They could be in development hell, but they're still in quote unquote development.
So the first one I got, probably one of the more popular ones, is the Uncharted movie. We actually got some pretty cool responses from a lot of our Facebook, Instagram peoples talking about video games they'd like to see as movies. And of course, everybody says Nathan Drake, played by Tom Fillion. Wait, Nathan Fillion.
Yes.
Nathan Drake is Nathan Fillion. Tom, where the fuck did Tom Holland?
Yeah, I see what happened. You're good.
This Stroop waffle beer was not the first beer of the day.
Yeah.
But Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake. And there's a fun little short you can see online for something like that. But all in all, too bad. It's not going to happen. We're getting a young Nathan Drake played by Tom Holland. And Sully, I'm pretty excited. Mark Wahlberg.
I'm interested to see how he plays that character. I think he could do a really good job just because Sully is almost kind of typecast Mark Wahlberg in a way.
Maybe. Definitely an older version of Mark Wahlberg from the right side of the country as well. And directed by Ruben Fleischer, who directed Venom and Zombieland 2, a whole bunch of other things, but those are pretty much his biggest ones. So, and also it's going to be Sony's first movie on Sony's streaming network, whatever it's going to be.
Oh, really?
Platform, I think.
Okay.
I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I'm not. But...
You mean after it comes to theaters, not day and date?
Right.
Okay, cool.
Well, no, I don't know. Anyways, more still developing on this movie. It's finally getting pushed into production after being in development hell for a while. But I love Uncharted, and I like Tom Holland. I like Mark Wahlberg. I don't know how I feel about how this is going to go.
Well, it just had so many directors and so many other things.
Right. And let's be real. Does Uncharted really need to be a movie? It is a movie. When you play it, it's one of the most fun storylines. It's super compelling. You're in control. It has great cutscenes. I just don't really see much that a movie's going to add to it as a video game movie.
Well, I don't know if it needs to add. It's that adaptation, right?
Sure.
And so it's an interesting thing to see nonetheless.
But and you haven't seen Sonic, but the movie has nothing to do. It makes a lot of fun references to the video games and Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever at least for me, I like to see changes, big changes when it comes from, a video game to a movie or even comic books or regular books, because I don't need to see the exact same story I've already played or read or whatever.
Exactly.
I want there to be some truth to it, but we've got to make it our own, something new and different.
Well, exactly. And I think that's why they're going with a younger version of Nathan Drake with Tom Holland, because we basically get Nathan Drake like mid to late 30s.
That's true.
The first video game.
Sure.
So we don't see kind of a lot what happened in that time. So I think, we want to see something different. We want to see something added to the lore in the story in that sense. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and I think I'd be more excited if it just weren't a development hell movie for so long.
Toads.
Okay. Moving on from that one.
I have more to add, but please move on.
Yeah, we only have so much time. Super Mario Brothers. Nintendo announced they are going to do their first official movie, and it's going to be a Super Mario animated one.
I was gonna say all these ones that Nintendo has made deals with are animated, right?
Correct.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure, but the only real one that they're pushing forward to, their first one's obviously going to be Mario animated because it's right there. There's really no reason for it to be live action. I mean, they tried that. It didn't go very well.
Bless you, John Leguizamo, but I can't say your last name, but
Leguizamo?
thank you. I'm butchering it on purpose, but
Sure.
that's my MO. I'm sticking with it.
But if it weren't for this movie being already in pre-production, lightly pre-production, we just know it's sometime 2022, this would be one of my choices for sure. There's only one name attached to it, and that's Shigeru Miyamoto. Because
well,
if you don't know who that is, that's like the Nintendo man, the head of Nintendo.
the other thing with this is, sorry, Vic, I know you were going to say.
I was just feigning like I was. That's fine.
Oh, you faker. All right. So Universal Studios is basically opening up a Nintendo World section of their park. And so the opening of this is supposed to coincide with the Super Mario Brothers animated movie.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
that's
can
a fun fact. You're here first. Okay.
Google it. You can see pictures of them building stuff that looks like Mario Land.
Oh, that
In
was
real
so
life.
much fun.
Hmm,
That's going to be
interesting.
amazing. We got Monster Hunter. That's coming out September 4th, 2020. Never played a Monster Hunter game, but it sounds like a game where you go and hunt monsters, and that could be fun.
That could be fun. I feel, to me, that's like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Like,
Yeah, and it also has the same director as the guy, what's it, Paul W.S. Anderson, that did a lot of the bad Resident Evil movies. Not that they were any good, but the really bad ones. And this one kind of had some issues. So I would not expect this to be good.
I really don't either.
I wouldn't, yeah, and I totally stopped paying attention to the Resident Evil movies after the first
For
one.
real.
There's like 6 or 7 now.
They're
I
so
think.
bad.
God.
I think Mia Jovovich is even in Monster Hunter.
Oh, really?
Just keeping it holding
Holding that down.
She's doing it, man.
Getting
Tomb
some
Raider
work.
2. Tomb Raider 2 coming out March 19th, 2021. I still haven't seen the first Tomb Raider,
Oh,
but I've heard it was pretty
the
decent.
reboot, not the one with
The
Angelina.
reboot. I have seen the ones with Angelina Jolie and Gerard Butler.
Yeah, I did watch the new Tomb Raider with Erica Viklanda. She's fantastic. I think they did a really good job at adapting that movie from the video game media.
It seems like one of the more well-received video game movies for sure.
I've also seen it, and I would agree.
Cool.
It could stand on its own. Like, and I think that movie Tomb Raider helped as a proof of concept for getting Uncharted going, because they're very similar
For
gameplay
sure.
mechanics, story.
Yeah,
There's some elements
They're
there, but-
Indiana Jones.
Exactly.
And that whole just space in terms of movies is just lacking right now.
Totally
and
right.
people want to go see
and there's a
action
lot of
adventure.
fun room for that
Exactly.
too.
Yeah.
You know, and it is going to be fun to have like a Tom Holland, kind of your classic archetype, and then still your Tomb Raiders. You get a newer, strong female archetype to go. So
Also
it's
true.
it's fun because there is, I think, a lot of option for kind of diversity and expansion there without getting like too watered down.
So
Then we have Minecraft, the movie, coming out March 4th, 2022. Still not a lot known about this one. It's just apparently there's a villager named Steve that doesn't get along well with the rest of the village, but while he's mining, he makes a weird friend that's a big guy, and they go on wacky adventures together. Steve is rumored to be voiced by Steve Carell.
I'm sorry. I was laughing up during the middle of that because I had images in my mind of test footage, and it's just people walking around with cardboard boxes attached to them. And that was just
real blocky.
Yeah. It
Is
was
this is
super
live
hilarious.
action?
No, I think it's going to be animated.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that makes
Yeah.
more sense.
I was curious.
Yeah, I don't
about
really
that.
think you could do a live action one.
No, not unless you
It
just
kind of
remove,
has to be animated.
move all the big qualities to
They've
it.
already
yeah.
kind of got it.
If you do that, you fucking ruin Minecraft.
They already have a Minecraft TV show via Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
Go look that up. Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Probably gonna not. I mean, I don't. So
I
this
mean,
IP,
look it up that it exists. Don't actually watch it.
yeah, this IP is very interesting. It's one of those games that just kind of came out, and it's just a free to play generally, and it's just such an open world that there's no actual story. So I find it very interesting that this movie is coming out with a plot.
Well, and again, I think that's similar in the vein of things like the Lego movie.
Right.
You know, which and Wreck-It Ralph was one that there shouldn't really be a plot for it, but they brought it out of nowhere. Keep in mind, they made fucking Battleship a movie. So they can just take a name brand and try and turn it into
They made Dungeons and Dragons a movie way back in the day.
Oh,
Also
that's
a big flop.
Yeah, never seen that one either. Okay, moving on. These two I'm gonna do kind of in quick succession because to me they're pretty much the same. Call of Duty movie was announced. They haven't said a whole lot about it, but there is a director attached to it, which is Stefano Salima, I believe is his name. The only thing that excites me about this is he's the dude that directed Sicario. And Sicario 2, the Soldado. And those are fucking great movies.
Interesting.
Okay.
And then Paramount is announced a whole Rainbow Six series of games. They want to turn it into kind of like a franchise. And the first one is going to be called Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan.
Are these going to be based on the books, the Tom Clancy books?
That's what it seems like. Is there going to be kind of a whole bunch of Tom Clancy book/video game adaptations coming out as movies?
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
that's my exact feeling too. Yeah, all right.
Well, speaking of Tom Clancy IPs, I'd probably go with Splinter Cell over the Rainbow Six stories, but that's just me. Sam Fisher is a much more.
I could never get into any of them.
Oh, really?
It's just not my style.
I played those games a bunch. I
Really?
Loved them a lot, yeah.
Okay.
Sam Fisher's a more interesting character, I
Sure.
would think.
I think
But
so.
I don't know. I never read the Rainbow Six books.
Only voiced by Michael Ironside, dude. He's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Ooh, I do like he is. Yeah. Another one this is one I've never played this game, but now I want to play it because I'm pretty excited about the sound of this movie. Sleeping Dogs. Did you ever play that? Came out in like 2012. Apparently,
This
the
is
way
like the Japanese Yakuza game kind of thing?
kind of like a Japanese Yakuza game, but apparently gameplay is like imagine if you took Grand Theft Auto with Rush Hour humor.
Okay, interesting.
And it's going to be starring Donnie Yen.
Ooh, that is.
So that's where it gets me. Right there is a
thought-provoking.
silly, fun fucking martial arts, car racing, fucking whatever you want to call it, GTA style one. I don't know if car racing's right. Carjacking.
Carjacking.
Stealing, heist.
But I fucking love Donnie Yen. So that alone excites me. I'll watch pretty much anything if he's attached to
Oh,
it.
one hundo, bro. That's cool.
A Halo series is coming out. I saw this. A lot of this stuff I got off of either Games Radar or Forbes.
Okay.
That's a pretty good list for upcoming ones. All I saw the Halo is it's going to be a 10-episode series, but I couldn't see where. Do you know anything about this, Will?
No, I don't.
that's
I know that Steven Spielberg was originally attached to do
Billy B was.
to do a
Huh.
Halo like movie
Wow.
series with
We're close. I call
Microsoft.
him Billy B.
Yeah. But
Like
that whole thing kind of dropped off when the Microsoft, movie and TV production studios kind of also just went away as they were starting to get away from that and
Right.
Xbox Connect.
Because they've been trying to do a Halo something forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of surprising that it hasn't happened
Mhm.
yet, but
My guess is a Netflix or Amazon, a streaming service like that.
they've done animated movies and they've been okay.
Mhm.
They've been fine. I think.
Well, Resident
Halo-
Evil's animated movies are far superior to their live action ones.
Well, budget, right? But yeah.
I mean, you can only blame so much on budget to me because you still have shit storytelling.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so giant plot hole, like as the whole. Either way, never get it. So, Devil May Cry. Speaking of, that's going to be a Netflix series. You guys ever play that?
I played like the first one way back in the PS1 days, and I never finished it.
I never played it, but one of my old roommates / really good friends to this day, Kevin, he played the shit out of these games, and it was one that we played a lot of Final Fantasy 2, which I thought was kind of lame. Never really got into it, but when he was playing Devil May Cry, I was like, all right, that's a fun game to watch.
Maybe this was PlayStation 2.
It's pretty
I don't
cool.
remember.
It's pretty cool. Cool characters, cool graphics, cool story. So as far as a Netflix series, if that one pops out, I'm gonna watch me some Devil May Cry.
Is this animated, kind of like
Yeah.
they did the Castlevania?
Exactly. And actually, not only is it animated kind of like they did Castlevania, allegedly, our worlds might cross between this and Castlevania.
I'd be okay with that.
Oh, fuck yes, you would be okay with that because that seems awesome. So that one I'm actually pretty excited about. And then, unless you guys have anything else, I'll leave you with the one that I am hands down the most excited about. There are no two ways about it. I cannot wait. I'm looking forward to it. I want it, and I want it now.
All right, what's that? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's fucking Mortal Kombat.
There it is.
Obviously, it has to be the Mortal Kombat movie. The only thing that makes me a little nervous about it is that the director is new. He's an unproven director, never done really anything. His name is Simon McQuaid, which seems like a character that
Was in Total Recall.
in Total Recall, but it would be played by Bruce Willis,
Gotcha.
right?
McQuaid.
But it's got a really good cast so far attached to it. It's got a massive budget. I think they're taking a lot of time with it. So
It sounds like it. Yeah, they've already started posting some images from environments that they're going to be in, and yeah, we got a great cast coming up. It's going to be awesome.
we do have a lot of them, but the cast-wise, the one I'm really excited for is Hiroyuki Sanada as fucking Scorpion, aka Hanzo Itachi.
Nice.
Just because this dude.
I know I've asked before, but what else has he been in?
He's been in a lot. The things you might recognize him the most, and he was in The Last Samurai. He was the head lieutenant samurai. I don't know what you would call the ranking as far as that goes, but he was not Ken Watanabe. He was the really super intense one that taught Tom Cruise all the swordplay shit in it.
Oh, okay.
But he was also in The Wolverine. He was in the last Avengers movie. He was the one that Hawkeye killed. He's been in a whole bunch of stuff. Just this really super intense, badass Japanese dude. Couldn't get a better casting for it, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't know. I'm so excited for it.
Me too, man.
Because Mortal Kombat needs some redemption. Let's be real. It has such an amazing universe, and the fan lore goes deep into it. It's one of my top 3 favorite video games franchises of all time.
It's going strong too, man. There are now 11, 12 iterations of that game.
Not including all the side.
Exactly. Yeah.
It.
And it started out in the early 90s, and it's just been kicking ass ever since.
Kids our age, or kids our age, people our age were huge into this. So, yeah, I look forward to it a lot. And then, side note, quick mention, not a video game movie, but it is also kind of a video game movie. It's not based off a video game. I'm really excited for Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I'm super excited about that as well. It's like about the life of an NPC essentially, in
non-playable character.
Yes. In a sandbox style video game. So yeah, it should be fun.
That seems like a lot of fun. But so those are the upcoming ones. Thank you for your patience. We'll tell you ours soon. But first,
we have another beer.
Yeah, my mouth is dry. It's time to drink a beer. This is one from 2 great breweries. Nice little collabo that came together. It is from Revision Brewing Company and one of my favorites, Belgian Beaver. This is called To Dream, and it's from Revision, so you guys will never guess what kind of beer this is.
The first 3 don't count. The first 3 guesses, because it's a hazy New England IPA, right?
Because that's literally all Revision makes.
You have another one every 2 weeks from them, but this one was special because it has, the collaboration with Belgian Beaver.
This one I am excited about because, no disrespect to Revision, but I think they make the same beer and just put a different label on it. This one with them,
that's not true. They hate you now.
They slightly change a hop, or a malt, or brew it for half an hour longer. Who knows? But it's
good beer, so screw you.
But they just have an incredibly amazing artist that just has to keep pumping these labels out because they are all awesome.
Yeah, props to that artist.
And that's the thing. I've never had a bad beer from them, but the amount of fucking hazy New England IPAs that come out, come on.
It's a lot. It's a lot, guys.
They're perfecting it. That's their goal.
But Revision's from Sparks, Nevada, and Belching Beaver, I think, is from Montana.
No, California.
Cool. Pretty close.
Northern California, I think. Redmond?
7%, 35 IBUs. The dream of a brew so tasty it identifies reality is the profession and pastime of all brewers.
This beer is another stride towards awesomeness, a result of teaming up with Belching Beaver and featuring Samba hops, which offer notes of candied orange and mango.
So that's the extra hop in this one.
I jumped in because it looked like you lost your place.
Well, I got a little confused. I was like, did I read that right?
Okay. It's been that kind of day for Jerry.
I don't know. I'll have to go back. Probably not. But so 4.12, very well rated beer. Vic, you just took a sip. What do you think, Big Sip Vic?
Big Sip Vic in the house. Yeah, I think it's a very consistent effort from Revision Brewing. This tastes like, as you mentioned, a lot of the same things that they're putting out. I'm not blown away. I'll be honest.
It tastes like a fucking New England IPA that tastes like a New England IPA that tastes like a New England IPA. There's no reason this should be a 4.12.
That revision is made for the last 3 years. Like it's.
I don't know. I kind of like it. It's candied orange. Shut up. It's candy orange and mango.
Yes,
okay?
Stumptown made a beer like that a long time ago, and it was great.
Yeah, this thing is extremely juicy. I think
do
it's
not
awesome.
get enough mango off of this.
Oh, no,
Let me
take another sip, sir. Yes. And
It's there.
okay.
I'm gonna give it a 3.25.
I'm gonna go 3. I just
Fucking over hazy.
exactly. Yeah, I'm in the hazy fatigue.
Give me a different
class.
bro, give me a new beer.
Yeah, I want to see Revision do a stout. I want to see them do something 180 degrees different from what they have been doing the last few years. I'm like,
I'm
we
sure
get
they
it.
do, but fucking send them this way.
Yeah,
Because it seems like all we get are their fucking hazies.
exactly. Yeah. Do you do stuff different? I don't know.
Jerry,
Like,
you had a 3.25. Vic, you had a 3.
yes.
Just a regular 3 for you, sir?
No.
Okay, cool. And I'm gonna give it a 3.5 because I do kind of like it. I like mango a lot.
I do not dislike this beer at all. It's not a bad beer. I feel like I have to make that point. And I really like Belching Beaver. They're one of my favorites. But again, the amount of times I avoid a hazy IPA and grab it, because I'm over it. Over it.
One hundo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but my thing is like how many different Northwest style IPAs have actually been out there, and just it's so much pine. It's so I mean to the point where people like who's it? Was it Coors or somebody that had like the bitter beer face, ads that were on there?
That was Keystone.
Was it Keystone? Yeah. And there were a lot of people that were looking for that, and I think the Pacific Northwest version, has been done to death as well.
Well,
Now,
you can go fuck yourself. That's my favorite type of beer.
I didn't say it was bad. I didn't say I didn't
I
like
still think you should go fuck yourself.
He says it with love.
Are we still friends?
Yeah, but you're still fucking yourself.
Okay.
Later necessary. But you're kind of right with that. And then we get all these weird brewed IPAs that keep popping up, and I don't want anything to do with that anymore.
It's too bubbly.
It's too dry. And I just want a little bit more creativity in certain beer, but not too much creativity. It's all about a balance. But yeah. What do you rate it, bro? What did you rate it? 3.5?
Yeah, 3.5.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fair. All right, let's move on.
Okay. So we're going to start off. Does anybody want to jump in with their movie pitch for a video game? Anybody? Bueller?
You can go.
Bueller? All right, here we go.
Go ahead.
All right, here it is. All right, so I am going to pick Chrono Trigger. All right, as my top one. And I go,
Interesting.
okay.
I don't think I've ever played Chrono Trigger.
No? Super Nintendo? SNES? SNES? Oh, okay. So Chrono Trigger is an awesome game, just to start. Features, how was it? I don't remember the exact name, and I probably should have looked it up, of the artist that did all the artwork for it.
Prince.
But it was essentially the first time that Square and Enix had joined up before the companies merged.
Oh.
So this was like a massive like RPG team up like fandom, kind of project to begin with. And this game is awesome. There's multiple endings to the game, and if you haven't played it, it's been remastered a couple different times. I think one for 3DS, one's for PlayStation 1, and yeah, of course, it was even on the original SNES. But my pitch for this is that it would be a full contained experience on Netflix. So basically, you're releasing it all at once, all right? And it needs to be done all at once because there are multiple endings to the show, just like the game.
So do you want to do it like the Babadook?
Okay, I'm getting to that, all right?
Cool.
So,
I think you get a Bandersnatch.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to use choices to basically construct the narrative similar to Black Mirror Bandersnatch, or they've even done another one with Brer something Grias, or I can't remember.
There are a few of them out there.
That one was like You versus Wild, and that one had multiple episodes, so I know that they can do the multiple episode thing.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, like in the game, you're kind of using like time travel essentially to kind of manipulate different events. So like things you do in the past affect things you do in the future.
Sure.
Okay. And you're kind of overplaying different, things going on in that world. And you might, gain or lose party members depending upon who you choose to be in your party. So even in that, so like you are going to essentially choose different actors to be part of your show or not, depending upon how you want the story to take out or to progress. And essentially, this is even going to change like the number of episodes, because at any given point, like if you felt like you were strong enough in the game, you could travel to the end of time. At which point, I think the enemy's name was like Kronos or whatever. Like he would essentially, was going to blow up the world and the time and the universe and everything. So at it, and kind of in the same way, at any given time, you can go and choose to do that for the main story. But you want to make sure that you have everything kind of figured out, like the puzzle of how to beat him.
Right.
So you got to be, paying attention in the show. So it's not going to be, too context heavy of making like a ton of decisions, but there's going to be key moments, that you would have to do that. And then the cool thing about this is, again, it's going to change like the number of episodes that you would actually have to watch. So this could be like a 7-episode show, or it could be like a 13-episode show, depending upon the choices that you make.
God, that'd be such a motherfucker to direct.
A
little bit.
Well, even Bandersnatch was hard to direct.
Oh, I
hard to direct
imagine.
and shoot with all the scripts and everything else like that. Like you have to take so many different takes and make sure you get those takes correct and all that. But you could do it, and the technology's there, and it would be hell of awesome to see this done as kind of like one of those first continual narrative shows that allow you this type of progression. And then finally, replay viewings would allow you to start from those major choice events. So like after you've been through the show once, you get like a particular ending, you could then go back and say, okay, I want to watch this from this decision that I made and see how it would play out differently. Or you could just, start the whole thing over, and essentially there would be like 2 different like long cut quote unquote seasons that essentially don't have choice breaks, but like here's one option of how this plays out in like the longest content episode, and then here's another way that this plays out, again with the longest content episode.
Sure. Yeah, that would be interesting. It would be quite a challenge, looks at from a directorial side, but it would be fun.
Well,
especially because, and I think that's why we're popping up so much of these, so many of these are popping up as far as like the Bandersnatch and the Choose Your Own Adventures. Because, people our age are starting to direct this shit and put it together. And I know I loved my Choose Your Own Adventure Goosebump books growing up.
Those were always fun. Those are good books.
Yeah, well, it seems like it's a prime idea, especially for this particular game, which allowed you to, choose the different events and how those characters interacted. Like at one point, I think if you choose to take Magus into your party and you hadn't done something beforehand, Frog ends up leading. And so you don't see that character again.
You're like, what the frog?
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
Give us one, Vic.
Yeah, let's see here. What I wanted to see is Injustice: Gods Among Us as an animated movie.
Okay. Go on.
Yeah, not unlike they're coming out with actually a Mortal Kombat movie that's going to be animated.
Scorpion's Revenge.
Scorpion's Revenge, and it looks fantastic. Check out the trailer on YouTube. But I want to see Injustice: Gods Among Us because when Jerry and I played that game a lot, like when it was coming out, and the cinematic opportunities for that game were fantastic, especially because all our favorite heroes being dumped into this crazy world, and these dimensions are crossing, and you see a much different Superman than you're used to. I want to see that. I want to see that
so bad. And that's why I love that you found a little loophole here, because people are going to be like, but that's a comic book. Yeah, but it was a video game first, and then they made a series out of it, and then they made another video game, and now the comic series continues to grow.
Which speaks to the IP itself. The movie was, the game was so incredibly popular, and it had so many rich storylines that they're like, yeah, let's create a comic book. People want to see this. People want to read it. People want to get into this world.
And DC fucking crushes animation.
They crushed it. Yeah, Sam Liu. Shout out to Sam Liu. He'd be the greatest director for that. He's the one who's directed nearly all the past DC animated films because there are over 20 at this point.
Yeah, he's
Um,
awesome. It's
he's
like
fantastic.
there, and then you of course have to pull the world's greatest voice cast director of all time, Andrea Romano.
She's
I
fantastic.
think
of
she's
course.
retired actually.
Well, yeah, she's the one. She's responsible for Batman the animated series, Superman the animated series, and
Justice League Unlimited, just
Yeah.
all of them. She's awesome.
the best. Yeah.
And so many movies. So I agree, man. That would be amazing. And then you know the video game had such a great voice cast. If you can keep them.
Mhm.
But if not, again, DC already has so many of those characters so well cast. Like you could have a lot of fun with that one.
Absolutely.
I love that. I'm on board with that big time.
Noise. Thanks. Yeah. How about you, bro?
Okay. So let's go ahead and the one that I'll do. I guess I'll go movie.
Okay.
I'll go movie first because I picked one for a movie and one for a series.
Yeah.
And movie-wise, I would like to see a trilogy of this movie because there are 3 of these games. There are a little bit more than 3, but 3 major ones. I'm talking about Crash Bandicoot. This is just a
Nice.
silly, super fun one, kind of in lieu of like Sonic, the way this was last movie was done. I would like to see, but maybe a little bit more adult, because Crash Bandicoot's a way more adult character than Sonic is, but not overly adult by any stretch of the imagination. He's still that preteen in all of us.
Mhm.
But I think it would be a lot of fun. Director-wise,
You're gonna get a Doritos tie-in easily.
well, maybe.
Mountain
Sure. No, I just no more. Oh God, no product placement. But I like this, and you could have a lot of fun because what Crash Bandicoot's off of Wumpa Island, which is kind of like mini Australia essentially. Even though he's not Australian, I would like Taika Waititi to direct it.
Okay.
Okay, and I would also be okay with it if he fucking voiced Crash Bandicoot
Okay.
because he does such silly, fun voices. I mean, but maybe not. We do that, and Crash is another one that didn't really talk, but he's gonna have to for a movie.
He had Mario like voiceover
Mhm.
effects. Like
So I
you
don't,
know.
I don't know who I would get really to voice Crash, but I'd be okay with it if it was Taika. Would definitely want him to direct it.
Yes.
But again, I don't know. So if you guys think of anything, let me know. Amy, I think you should turn human as far as kind of like the live action one goes.
Mhm.
Again, don't know who I would do casting wise for that. But I just think it has to be someone, you know, young, attractive female that can do great action scenes.
Who would you get to be Cortex?
That's the big question, right? Because
Okay.
Dr. Neo Cortex, Danny DeVito,
Oh,
for some reason comes to mind.
okay.
Another Danny comes to mind. Danny McBride, for some reason, seems like he would be fun to me for that.
Interesting.
But since it's Australian, one that I would love is either, because I think he could do it, and he's really silly if you get him in the right moods, would be Hugh Jackman,
Okay.
or maybe a Chris Hemsworth. I want it to be an Australian overall, though, I think. If it's not like DeVito or if it's not a Danny. But again, I don't know.
That's a tough one. Yeah,
it really is.
you have to have a solid villain. Like it's somebody who could play it up. Especially, I haven't seen Sonic, but I know Jim Carrey destroyed it.
We haven't seen
crushed it. He was so good.
We haven't seen Jim
so
Carrey be that much Jim Carrey in like 10 years.
And
yeah.
it's going back old school. It was the reasons why everybody loved Jim Carrey. He did such a good job. And fucking Jim Carrey is voice with Cortex would be great.
Dude, straight up.
like
You know,
let's just have that be Jim Carrey's new thing is the absurd slapstick villains in new video game movie.
He could do it.
Invitations or whatever.
He could do it.
So again, I don't really know, but I just know I want a Crash Bandicoot trilogy of movies. See if we can find some way to throw in a Crash Team Racing series.
Oh,
I don't know, man.
At least
You
just
guys
get
want to play
behind
some
a
Crash
cart
Team
for-
Racing after this?
You know, we might just need to take a break right now and play. All right, but we are gonna skip to a quick break. But
Sure.
listen to this ad. We'll be right back. I say ad loosely. It's gonna be fake ad. Cheers. Sorry, I just realized my tummy is rumbly.
Oh, someone has to poop.
Mm-hmm.
Go outside.
Oh,
you don't want to clean that
up. You don't want to bang that up.
Yeah, I left it outside.
Yeah,
They were just hanging out there.
that's cool.
I don't know. 45 minutes. I think we're good.
I'm gonna mute this stream. It should be pulling the audio from the camera itself.
I think it is because yeah, it didn't give me many options.
Mhm.
Hello, YouTube, we're back. Thank you for accommodating our quick break. That was fun. We decided to
Jesus. The mic's not even over there.
we decided to watch our live stream while we were taking a break, which was kind of interesting. Wanted to see how much of a delay it had.
It just
Nothing. Is that your phone?
No, it's not my fucking phone. It's in your goddamn pocket.
Why would I have your phone in my pocket?
The noise came from your pocket. Your phone's over there on silent, like it should be.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'd have a scrap.
I have a scrap.
How we gonna fuck that big?
So, dude, dude, this healthy eating, man.
It starts to clear out all the shit in your body that shouldn't be there.
Pretty much,
It
dude.
really does.
Like I've had more salads like this week than I've had in the last 2 weeks that I've had in, I want to say the last 8-9 years.
People are listening to you, just so you know.
I don't care. They can know that about me, that I don't eat salads.
That I shit a lot now.
No, if they know me, they know that I don't eat salads until now. So.
All right. So we're gonna come back with the questionable medicine.
Who's that from again?
Trickster Brewing out of Coeur d'Alene.
Up near Coeur d'Alene.
Coeur d'Alene. No, it says fucking Coeur d'Alene. Oh. No slurs, Jerry. No slurs, Jerry. No slurs, Jerry.
It is Northern Idaho.
Working on it.
Or you?
Oh man. Do you imagine how fast I'd get blacklisted if we really were popular?
That would be fast. Is it literally?
I'm just waiting.
Black Raven?
No, Trickster. See, I thought it was Black Raven because Trickster is a beer by Black Raven.
Yes.
This is Trickster Brewing, questionable medicine.
Oh, okay. So I misheard you.
No, I literally made the exact same mistake you did while I'm looking at the fucking board. So
What? We've had something else from them on before.
the J box.
The J box. That's right. Which was like a jukebox kind of.
It had the jukebox, but apparently the original name was Juice Box, whatever. But
yeah, and then they got sued.
so it says 6.9, but it's 6.4.
There was two.
That's what because I saw that too, like a 2.0, and I don't know which one's which, but these guys are a tiny little brewery. Yeah, so that one says 2.0 on it.
There it
didn't
is.
look at six. Okay, so it's definitely this one.
Yeah.
Oh, looking at the description, but it's not a Pilsner. That's pale ale. It's pale ale.
Was the first one a Pilsner? Is that what you read?
No, it says Pilsner based malt. Let's be honest.
Oh,
That could just be
but
a
it
Pilsner based malt. That doesn't make it a Pilsner. Though.
Well,
That
that's why
explains when you see when I pour it, that explains the color.
I was going to say that's why you have to read, Jerry. Are we live yet? I got on recording because this is funny in my opinion.
Yeah, we actually are, just because usually when I come back,
You start.
I gotta work the bugs out right now. So yeah.
Oh,
Are we still working bugs out? Are we still working, even though we have the YouTube on mine?
Yeah, we're still working bugs out, man. I'm covering to make sure. That's what I'm doing.
Wow. I'm gonna give that an Owen Wilson. Wow.
We can give that the shut the fuck up. Let's get going.
Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right, bring us back. Who's bringing us back?
You.
No, okay.
Yeah,
Bring us
you are.
back in 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brewnomics podcast. I hope you learned something. I hope your life changed because of the ad you just listened to. Next up, we have our I Tap That segment where we feature an Idaho beer that was brewed in Idaho, made by an Idaho brewery, where we're going to drink it and we are going to decide as a group whether we would do what's called tapping that beer, just as you would a cake. And so we have a fantastic beer at our disposal right now. We have what's called Questionable Medicine 2.0 by Trickster Brewing Company out of Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Jerry, you picked this up for us.
I did pick this one up. I picked this up at one of my favorite spots in Boise, and dare I say, most underrated Copenhagen's Growlers. They do growlers, crowlers, pints, fucking the most beautiful pretzels you'll ever have a chance to put your mouth around.
And they're giant.
Giant ass pretzels, and they have a great tap selection. So, yeah, Trickster's one I picked up from them. I think we've had these guys on the podcast before, the J Box, and that one.
Yep.
got tapped. Very great looking beer, incredibly clear and crisp looking for a pale ale. Usually I expect it to look a little bit darker. So, but 6.4%, right where I like it. What do we got on the, hiccups to Zapped?
Oh no.
Oh, Jerry's excited. Yeah, so 6.4 alcohol, 6.4% alcohol by volume, as Jerry had mentioned. 50 IBUs. It comes in at an average rating of 3.73, and that comes from 15 ratings. So this tells me it's a fairly new beer. There are only 16 total ratings and 4 only this month. We are in late February at this point.
Yeah, considering there are just above 16 people in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
At any given point.
Yeah, that's not true. I don't know what the population is, but it's a small North Idaho town.
They're a vacation town.
For sure.
Sure.
But yeah, like populace 16, even though there might be 2,000 people there at a time.
Have we read the description?
No idea what they're called.
No, well, go ahead, take us out.
All right, sweet. This is a Pilsner-based malt with Vienna and light caramel, bittered with Simcoe and generous late additions of Citra and Mosaic hops. Light, balanced, and very hop forward.
Okay, so that makes sense with the color a lot. That pretty much describes it perfectly with the Pilsner-based malt. But I like how they call it light, balanced at 6.4%.
It really is. It's blowing me away.
Though, isn't it?
I went in for a taste and I was like, damn, I do not taste like 6%, nearly 6.5% alcohol by volume.
I really like this.
I like it a lot.
I like this a whole lot. As soon as I took a sip of it, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be like a regular beer for me.
Oh, really? Wow, that's saying something.
I get a nice danky quality to it, which is interesting for a pale ale.
Yeah. Nice and danky, but light.
Light
Danky. Like it says, but it's like it's that good.
Is that good? Good
I gotta-
LD, that light dank, yeah.
I gotta put my mindset right on this, like I'm, used to like, the stouts, porters, browns, or whatever. And so for me, like, coming into it with a pale ale or not even like an India pale or a hazy or anything like that, I gotta think like in my head, okay, yeah, I want something dank. I want something light and refreshing that's not heavy. This is a very well done pale ale.
It really is. And actually, it's a little less bitter, even that might not be the right word, but it reminds me a lot of the Stone Cold beer, the Steve Austin, the Broken Skull one.
It's not exactly piney
that we drank. It's not piney, but it has that similar color. It's more danky than piney, but at that similar ABV, super refreshing. And one, again, this is like, I would love to play some softball or some dodgeball or take this disc golfing or a fun, slightly strenuous, but only ever so slightly outdoor sports activity.
Good
Golfing,
yeah,
something like that would be a lot of fun.
Totally,
I'm giving this beer a 4 and I tap it. I'm telling you right now, I really like this.
Dude, I'm gonna double down with you. I like it a whole bunch for all those reasons. I will tap this as well, man. I'm gonna give this beer a 4 as well. It's fantastic. I love it.
We are synonymous, my friends.
Really?
All 4 of us
Oh,
are 4,
shit.
and we're all tapping it. This is a great drinkable beer. Heck yeah, we get a keg of this. And
It's a
Throw a
standout
party.
pale ale, and you
Yeah.
don't get those often. So yeah, Trickster Brewing should be proud. So not only does that get tapped, being a 4-4, and 4 makes the requirements of a Brewnomics recommended as well.
yeah, which requires 75%.
That's when we need a
Or 70%. But yeah,
button you can push that'll have something that's like a double whammy.
Whammy.
That's a double whammy for
Yeah.
sure.
it's getting
Yeah.
recommended. More people need to know about this beer. We have done a
Mm.
poor job, even just having drank it and experienced it for the first time already, not telling more people about this beer. So if
Yeah,
you're,
and I
out
assume
there,
it's a newish one too,
if
but
you're out there, look for questionable medicine.
2.0. It's a great summer beer, man.
So,
You're gonna enjoy yourself.
again, we got this in a crowler from Copenhagen, which if you're in Boise's, the Bench-ish area, Orchard and Overland, $8 for 32 ounces of delicious beer.
Yeah, you got yourself a deal, sir.
Okay, so that is a fucking hell of a price on this as well.
Yeah, it's like
Just
4
because
bucks a pint.
in Copenhagen in general, their crowler prices are very well, very, very well priced. The
Okay.
crowler prices are very well priced. Anyways,
Sorry, phrasing.
but yeah, give it a shot. Let's move on. Vic, you started us the first time, so you gave us
Injustice.
Injustice,
Among Us.
and now what are you going to give us?
Yeah, man. So I have a little bit of a different spice level on that one. So I'm gonna go with the movie I'd like to see on screen would be Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, if you're not familiar with this game, it came out in late 2018. It's a game with a female protagonist, which is actually unheard of at the time, and so that's
Much, yeah.
that's fantastic. You play as a character Aloy. It has a lot of RPG style mechanics such as crafting, questing.
Oh, you're
And,
burying the lead, man. You're burying the lead.
No, this is one that I haven't seen, but it looked like a weird blend, a really cool blend of like futuristic and past. Prehistoric gameplay, right? So
Yeah,
you got like almost like
sure.
cybernetic dinosaurs.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So the world has basically been destroyed at some point. An AI has taken over essentially,
Okay.
and now humans are now running extinct. Essentially, we've gone back to hunter-gatherer based societies, their villages, and now it's your job to try to figure out A, what happened to the world, because you don't know, and B, how can we improve the world and make it a better place? So it's a vast world that you're living in. There's so much to do. This is one game that I felt was overwhelming initially when I started to play it. Almost like, actually not almost, is like Assassin's Creed when you have so many things that are available to you. But as you progress and move forward, you get a little more adept at the game. You find the game has rich storylines. I'm not gonna lie, man, this game got me in tears a couple of times.
Really?
Based on the person Aloy is and the situations you're met with, as well as the sheer humanity of what's occurring in some situations in the game. It's quite beautiful. I love playing this game a lot. I definitely play it again if I want to.
I really want to get down on that.
I'll definitely
This game
give it to you.
it's on my bucket list to play
PlayStation
whenever
exclusive, right?
Correct.
Whenever
Yeah.
I get a PlayStation 4, it's on my bucket list. For that.
It's a beautiful, wonderful exploration. You're going to spend about 80 hours.
And let's be real,
playing it.
visually, because I watched you play only a tiny little portion of it, but the little bit that I saw, I was like, holy shit, this game is beautiful.
It's
And if
gorgeous.
you can do that on a cinematic scale,
Mhm.
that would be even cool. So here's my question though, and I apologize if you answered this already. Movie series.
Oh, correct. Yeah. So the best adaptability of this game, I feel, would be a Netflix short series base. So I'm talking like a 10 episode run here and there about the world that you're embarking on.
Sure.
And so it wouldn't be per se an exact story arc from the game, but you would be moving in a different realm, exploring. You'd be with Aloy, how she progresses and explores the game. And so, yeah.
That would be so cool. And I would love to see that on Netflix too, because I mean, maybe it's not much of a track record, but after The Witcher, it's proven that they can do it.
Oh, you took the words out of my
Right.
mouth. The Witcher is proof of concept in
Yeah.
taking an RPG-based game into more of a movie short series adaptability, because those games have so much. Like The Witcher, you can spend hundreds of hours on. I spent 80 hours playing this game. I just beat Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I clocked it in at 71
Man.
hours.
Speaking of Assassin's
That's
Creed,
so much
slight
play
segue.
time. Yeah.
Hopefully that eventually gets a great movie, because that last one was shit.
Exactly. And once again, that's a game that would benefit from a short Netflix series run versus a one-off
Prince of
movie.
Persia, if that was good too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, this looks awesome. Who would you want to direct, and who would you cast as Aloy?
Aloy's tough.
Aloy. She's Ginge, isn't she?
She's a ginger.
Karen Gillian.
Karen Gillian, actually.
I
I
very
love
good.
her.
She would
She's
be great.
awesome.
She actually would be my number one choice, just because she's able to imbue the humanity.
And we know she's got the physicality,
Exactly.
especially as Nebula. She's badass.
She's great.
Well, and if you've seen her in Doctor Who,
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about scenes that'll make your heart melt. She is so good.
And
She's in
in there.
Jumanji,
Yeah.
the new
Yeah.
Jumanji. So yeah, she's
Yeah.
got the moves.
She's got the move. She's got a second runner-up. I think Amy Adams would be
Great
fantastic.
Great choice.
Yeah, if Amy Adams wanted to be physical,
Mhm.
you know.
She could, I believe, she'd be a person.
Did
who
you
knows stunts.
another one? I don't know how great her acting would be, but physically she's definitely there. I don't know what her name is, But did you ever watch the Hercules movie with The Rock?
Yes.
The female in there, the archer, she was redhead, super jacked, like great build physically. She looked amazing.
Yeah.
Like six pack and shit. She looks like that character.
No, 100, yeah.
So again, I don't know how well she can act, but that's why still I lean towards Karen.
Oh.
Is she is such an amazing actress.
I think Karen would. She's the best of both worlds.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The other girl in the new Black Widow movie, the one that's like her sister.
Oh, the young one, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a bad choice. I'm not
because
sure
she's
what her name
kind
is.
of I don't know either, but she's kind of an up and coming actor and definitely does stunts and everything too. Where
I think she's too
she could
young
lead it.
though.
Yeah,
Because I think
Yeah,
she's
into what? I'm sorry?
young.
Young. Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and you know better than I because I haven't played this one, Vic. But the little bit I've seen, or at least in that lifestyle to take it seriously, it seems like you need somebody a little bit more mature, a little bit more experience that's been through the shit.
And that's the crazy part because you're actually incorrect. Aloy
Okay.
is between 18 and 24.
Okay, so there you go.
So yeah,
That is
she's a
maybe I'm
very young cat, but she's so wise in the way that
Mhm.
she produces and the way that she presents herself. Just because the way that she was brought up in the life that
Okay.
she lived, and so it's
Karen
got-
Gillan still looks like she's 20.
She-
That looks real. She looks
that's-
great.
Karen Gillan would be the best option. in
I'm
my
glad you
opinion.
chose series on that because I don't know how you condense like 80 hours worth of gameplay down into like 2
Well,
hours.
and that's what I felt like a huge problem was with the Assassin's Creed movie, which we did end up walking out of because it was straight garbage because they tried to put
Yeah.
hundreds of hours into 90 minutes.
Yeah, an hour and a half.
They
Yeah.
failed. They
So
failed
bad.
hard, and so
How
it's
do you have Michael Fassbender in that role? Fucking up.
exactly like it was terrible.
There's a lot of potential, but yeah.
Great choice, man. Yeah, I'm on board. That'd be cool. Any idea for a director? Does it really matter? Just a good one.
It would need to be somebody who has a great eye for an action adventure. I don't have a person in mind.
The Rock. Let's make it a $7 production.
Oh,
His
geez.
first directorial experience. He's good in the jungle.
He is.
A lot of jungle scenes.
There you go. Yeah, he's up. Well, yeah. Well,
98% of The Rock's movies are based in the jungle.
well, that's the crazy thing because this movie takes place in so many different like landscapes. It's winter.
Shaking my head.
It's a desert. This movie would take you
Fred
across the
Durst.
world. That's outrageous. I won't have it. No, gosh, man, I don't know. I need somebody who like did the Golden Compass series or something like that.
I'd like to see a strong, really good female director do it. I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, who? Patty Jenkins.
Thank you.
There-
Yes.
Yeah.
There we go.
There
Thank
it is.
you.
She would be
Great
fantastic.
idea.
Good call, man. Yeah, good call.
There you go. That was the name I was trying to think of. Like,
I mean, I got you. That's why I picked you up. Yeah.
Will, give us a shot. What do you got?
All right, so for me, I don't really have any more pitches, but I'll give you this. I actually think if you were to do like a Metroid kind of thing,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that was
'Cause
actually Paula's idea.
I
like that.
love
Who plays Metroid?
um,
Samus.
Alicia Vikander.
Okay.
Oh.
Or I think Charlize Theron.
Ooh.
Or even because she's older, yeah, that would totally work.
And she's great at
or
acting.
just voice it because I think you can play that character as somebody who never takes the helmet off.
Sure.
Sure.
But that's the one thing I would love to about
Yeah, action,
Charlize is one action she can do it. I mean, from
Yeah.
Mad Max to Atomic Blonde there, and I think she has a lot of Carl Urban-esque ways between she doesn't have to show her face, and she's still or
kinda
Emily
like
Blunt.
Emily Blunt would be another
She's
good one.
really good
Yep.
that way too. I don't think she could do the action, but acting wise,
Mhm.
like facial expressions, she's good.
So I kind of want this to be a little bit of a longer movie. I want it to clock in at about 2.5 hours. But essentially what I want you to do is, take kind of the idea of, was it Super Metroid? Where, she saves the baby Metroid in Metroid 2. And then in Super Metroid, the baby Metroid like sacrifices itself for her so she can take on Mother Brain or whatever at the end. I think you basically pitch this movie as like The Mandalorian, essentially. But,
Ooh.
so you have like all of those different kind of little story beats, where she's a bounty hunter. She shows how badass she is.
Okay.
And it's just The Mandalorian, but condensed into 2.5 hours. And it's just action point, quick exposition with like scans and stuff from her mask and shield. And she's just a complete badass woman.
I like that idea, man. I
Directed
really
by
do.
Jon Favreau.
Fine. Yeah, I'm okay with it. Yes. Because he knows how to adapt
Mhm.
everything, it seems, lately.
So the Mandalorian. Yeah, he's always been good. He's always been incredibly underrated.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll finish this up then.
Do it.
I want God of War.
course.
So I want it as an epic series, back to a la The Witcher, as a good proof of concept. But I want it as a series that continue. Like my goal would to have like 5 or 6 seasons, 10 episodes each.
Okay.
With similar but outrageous adventures, kind of like how the game does. How the first one, Kratos is upset, he has to go after Ares, and he has to go after Zeus, then he goes after the Titans, and now he's
Poseidon and all that
exactly.
stuff,
But and then now in the 4th game, he's doing the Norse lore sort of thing. So that does a lot, and we talked about this too, even well before that came out. We're like, could you imagine if they did Egyptian lore or Japanese lore, because they're fucking gods and shit. It's really cool. Or a variety of so the opportunities are endless.
Yep.
You know, with what he could do. So I think that'd be a lot of fun. I think it would take a lot of work, because one problem that Kratos had or that I had with Kratos, really until the last Game of Thrones, Jesus Christ, God of War, and even a little bit with that one, is he's a cock. He's not a like relatable guy. He's not somebody. He went through extreme tragedy, but then it's like, yeah, but you're still a piece of shit.
Yeah,
like you're just going to
like have a hard time, showing his humanity.
So that's the thing you'd have to change, is show his humanity instead of just make him this incredibly angry, I just want to kill everything. Somebody relatable that was broken and had everything taken away from him and has to get it back, but also has the training of a Spartan and all the other godlike abilities that he ends up getting. So I think it could be done really well, and I think it would make changes that would be necessary to his character, but be respectful to even the game a little bit. But that's the cool thing about the way the game is done is, it's this dude. We know he's covered in the ash of his family. He's a Spartan. They died tragically. Greek mythology. Figure it out. There's such a cool array of that. And I think we need something like that, because a lot of those last movies, the Hercules, the Jason and the Argonauts, I don't know.
Clash of the Titans.
They Clash of the Titans, thank you. They just suck so bad. So if you could do this one right that already has a loving fan base that would see that.
Immortals was another one.
Yeah. Immortals was pretty
That
good.
was a great proof of concept.
It was proof of concept, but yeah, I think you stretch this out, because that hasn't been done yet with Greek mythology, and it's prime for it.
Right. But the thing that you really have to do super, super well, which is also the most challenging thing, I think, in God of War, is scale.
Yes, you're
the
right.
monsters, the Titans in the game, it was amazing. That was so much fun. So you have to get somebody that really understands that sense of scale. To me, that's Gareth Edwards.
Okay.
Who did the most recent Godzilla movies, 1 and 2, and also
good choice.
The good Star Wars one.
The Rogue One.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's the second time that happened to you.
Dude, I always lose that one for some reason.
I get it.
But he did a really good job with that one too. So this dude knows his scale. But who plays Kratos?
That was my next question.
My personal pick,
The Rock.
No.
Oh.
Close though.
Fair.
Dave Bautista.
Ooh, interesting.
I would like him as Kratos way more, especially because if we think of kind of the way his character was in Blade Runner 2099, 2029, 2049, 20-something 9.
49, yeah.
He was huge, intense, sympathetic, and you wanted to see him win. And so I think if he something like that, or maybe how he was in Hotel Artemis, like he's got the fucking build for it. He's a Spartan, so he's got the right skin tone for it, even though ended up coloring him ash, so that gives you a little bit more.
Look at Drax.
Yeah,
exactly.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know, but that's like legitimately my pick is Bautista.
I think that's fair. I don't know that he would be able to imbue the emotion necessary. It would take a specific type of a style to pull that off, just because Kratos is always seething anger.
I think he can do that. The seething anger to me thing is, I think he could do super well, even in wrestling each other, because he was a great heel. He has that intensity. To me, it's not this like the seething anger that has to get there, but I want to see a broken Kratos.
But yeah, that's the best Kratos.
Like a truly sympathetic. Like this is a dude that's as powerful as it gets. He's the greatest Spartan, which is the greatest war tribe in the history of history.
He's a god among men.
He's the 1% of the 1%, and he's broken.
Yep.
I think Batista could do that well.
I 100% agree with that. Yeah.
I'm having a very hard time imagining anybody else the way you describe it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
But
So
who directs it?
Gareth Edwards.
Oh,
That's
sorry.
to me, but it's that scale,
Didn't
or at least have him be the head consultant or something, kind of like how Favreau didn't direct all the Mandalorian. He directed the first episode, got it going, and all of that.
Right.
I think if we were to have somebody like Gareth, hey, look, this is what we're going to do, and then because series like that, it's hard to have the same director for every episode.
True.
So that would be my start, and then kind of funnel it in from there.
Okay.
I think, or him, or a Stephen D. McKnight,
Okay.
old Spartacus.
What about Travis Knight?
And Daredevil, who's Travis Knight?
Travis Knight directed
That sounds like.
Kubo and the Two Strings.
Oh my God, that's so good.
I love
Also,
Kubo.
really good with scale. If you
Yeah.
ever see the making of with that, oh my gosh.
Which
Yeah,
is why I
no,
brought him up.
That's a really good. Kubo's amazing.
Oh,
yeah.
Underrated movie.
Yeah, I cried big
The
tears.
skeleton that they did with that was like 2 stories tall, and this
Yeah.
was like stop motion animation.
Yeah, I watched a little bit behind the scenes. That's fucking awesome. That movie is one of the most beautiful, like cinematically, the way it's shot, the color, all that. Story wise, I could also go that way, but just like aesthetically, that movie is fucking gorgeous.
It's beautiful on all accounts.
Do you guys have any like other honorable mentions kind of things?
Earthworm Jim.
Earthworm Jim, you want to see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know who I want to play Earthworm Jim, but I think that would be a really funny live action slapstick, absurd, silly fun movie.
Is it a crossover like Sonic, or is it completely like animated?
Crossover like Sonic? I want Earthworm Jim
Okay.
in the real world. Probably
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds.
I think that's the best option.
I think I'd like
Yeah.
that one a lot. Or like a Nathan Fillion. I think could do really well.
Somebody very slapstick,
Yeah.
sarcastic.
Snarky. Yeah.
But that has that handsome, stupid confidence. Like you shouldn't have that, but you're so handsome. It's like, well, yeah.
Yeah, well, I get it. Yeah.
Do you have anything, Dick? Or 'Cause I've got a
I
couple.
just Quantic Dreams games. I go with Detroit Become Human, and
Yes.
I would also go with Heavy Rain. And just to let
even
you
Heavy
know,
Rain? All right.
Heavy Rain was optioned actually in 2006, 2 years before the game was actually made, because people heard the game was going to be fucking amazing. It already has an attached screenplay writer, which is Dave Millick, and I did check IMDb. He's still attached to this at this point.
Cool.
So you're saying there's a
I'm
chance.
saying there's a chance at this point. I think Heavy Rain would be a beautiful story. Once again, that would be a Netflix series.
All right.
Well, I'm talking about that choose your own
Exactly.
adventure sort of thing. That's prime and ready to go for that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I've got a couple here.
Okay.
The first one that I want to mention is Portal. Like everybody's super hyped on a Portal thing just because the game was so hilarious.
And that'll probably happen eventually.
I would hope, but one of the things that I will leave you with is actually they're having a couple like indie development, short films on this concept.
Mhm.
One by Dan Trachtenberg.
Sure.
You may know also, did what was it, 10 Cloverfield Lane?
Yeah, he was attached to Uncharted for a hot minute.
Yeah.
One of the many.
Anyways, he did a little short film you can find it on YouTube called Portal No Escape. And then also one that I kind of heard about is called Portal Survive, and that's by Colin and Carter. That's the YouTube channel is Colin and Carter. Portal No Escape. Look both of those up. Those are really, really good short films. And then probably the last one that I really want to mention in terms of like live action kind of stuff is Deus Ex. Yeah, either of you guys play that game?
I haven't.
That was actually on my list as well. I'm
That's
glad
it.
you mentioned it. Yeah.
Yeah, just because it's such an easy idea to come up with either a movie or a show series of what it, is to be human or whatever.
Well, and I'm such a huge fan of the cyberpunk, like
Mhm.
dystopian future situation. I think that's such a rich storyline and it's playing super well right now. So that's an easy one.
And I think you actually something triggered honorable mention that I'd like to do. Did you ever play Dead Island?
No, but I think I know where you're headed.
So it was a cool one, but really because I love a good zombie adventure, but this is another one that has a lot of camp. But part of this game is it's a kind of craft your own weapons one.
Yeah.
But the absurdity of the weapons in this one is the reason I would like it. Because I'm just imagining some dude going after a zombie with a steel baseball bat with a fucking actual like functioning saw blade at the top of it that's also somehow electrified. It has the most absurd craft your own weapons in there. So I think as far as like maybe a short Netflix animated series or something to that effect, I would really like to see, because they ended up doing a lot of different variations of that game, and you could do it with the show too, to just make it a just hyper violent, over the top, silly, fun adult animated zombie apocalypse game.
I dig that, man. That's super cool.
Yeah.
So real quick, to just head back on the Deus Ex thing, because I had a YouTube short video that I wanted to give a shout out to. Is if you are out there, just check out True Skin, and it's the YouTube channel is H1. I think I've recommended this to both you and to Jerry and Vic before. But yeah, True Skin. That is a wonderful proof of concept about the idea of what it means to be human, and like you could see Deus Ex like taking on that entire mantle immediately and running with it.
Very cool.
Let's do our last beer, and then I think I have maybe like 2 more cartoons that I want to say real quick.
We'll see. I'm saying we should just do our last beer and get out of here.
All right, fine. Whatever you want.
Thank you. This is from Evil Twin Brewing, and it's one I've been holding on to a while, but I'm pretty excited about it. This is called a Cola Sour. 6% alcohol. It is a malt beverage with natural flavors and caramel color. So I imagine a sour that tastes like a Coca-Cola.
It smells like a Coca-Cola.
It smells like a Coca-Cola with like just oops, too much malic acid.
Oops, yeah.
Way too much malic acid. 392, looking at Untapped, huh? Sour ale brewed with caramel, and the same thing pretty much. Huge, not huge, but compared to what we've drank tonight, pretty huge check-ins. 3,035, 2,500 ratings with a 3.92. Vic, you took a sip. Tell me, big sip, Vic.
It tastes like a Coca-Cola. There's a sweet quality to it with the acidic bitterness that you'd expect from a legit Coca-Cola product. It kind of blows me away. This is a drink, a beverage, a beer that does what it purports itself to be, which is twice in one show.
It tastes more like a Shasta soda to me, but it's definitely their cola variant.
Sure, like RC Cola.
But it's definitely a knockoff cola one with it. It is what it says it is. How fun is this?
I love it.
This is cool, man. I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure, but this is what it says. It's a cola sour.
Yep.
This is fun as shit.
So I took a drink while you were talking, and I just wanted to interrupt you and be like, what the flippity jibbity, because this beer is insane. I don't understand it. I look at it, I smell it. I don't smell, cola, and yet I taste it, and all of a sudden I get
It's so crazy.
like kind of that weird like flat Coke or knockoff Coke kind of flavor to it.
But now I want to try a cherry cola sour, a vanilla cola sour, and this is fucking
Slow your roll, man.
I will not slow my roll. Speed up your roll.
This is insane. This is incredible. I don't know how they did that.
Evil Twin is so good. These guys are amazing. Like the chemical manipulation these motherfuckers can do to get the flavors that they do.
Straight alchemy, bro.
It really is a bunch of alchemists. God, I always look forward to Evil Twin Brewing. I'm going to give this a 4.25 just because it's so fun. It might also be my beer of the night. I like this a lot.
Oh, easily my beer of the night. Like just the fact that I thought this was such like a niche beer. Like I was like, there's no way they're gonna be able to do this. And I drank it. I was like, God damn, they fucking accomplished that.
I can't believe how much I enjoy. It's fun. It's like a genuinely fun beer, which is not a good beer. It is a good beer, but it's fun.
Yeah, dude. I honestly do not drink sodas anymore. But the very minimal times that I do, I'm always blown away. And now that I have this, I'm like, God damn, this is a really great representation of that. Nicely done.
What are you gonna rate it?
I'm a fucking 4 on this, bro. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you're the low person of the night because I'm rating this a 4 or 5.
Oh,
I am
wow.
having a lot of fun with this. I am amazed. This is wizardry in a glass.
It really is.
Yeah,
It really
It's
is.
a lot of wizardry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's smooth. Like it finishes smooth. It doesn't finish sour at all. Like that's a horrible description on top of the can because it's not sour.
Yeah, this is fun, man.
It's great.
I dig this a lot.
That is our second recommended beer of the night.
There we go.
Jerry Bear, what's your rating?
4
4. Okay, gotcha.
or 4.25. I think I gave it a 4.25
Yeah,
actually.
4.25 is what I had.
All right, well, let's call that a show, huh?
I like it.
I like it a
too.
lot.
All right. Well, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe to all things Brewnomics. If you're on iTunes, give us a rating of 5 stars. It helps a lot. Join the Brewnomics Brew Crew page over on Facebook. Be good to each other. Drink good beer. Till next week, I'm Jerry.
I'm William.
And I'm Vic.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And you're out.
Damn, man, that is. I have to pick up this bitch again. I think I didn't say it. I'm pretty sure I got it off